Hello there everybody, what is going on? My name is Waddles, how are you doing today? And welcome back to Minecraft Basics Episode 3. The series where I run through some basic mechanics, some basic things about this game. If you missed Episode 2 on the first night, look for that on the end slide, and Episode 4 will be coming out soon and it'll be on enchanting. So make sure you subscribe so you see that, drop a like on this video if you like it, and let's dive right into our basics world. And here we are. We have landed in the basics world. Now, today we will be talking about farming. Now, more specifically, farming food, farming plants. We're not going to talk about everything you can farm, because you can farm skeletons, you can farm players if you're evil in a PvP server. You can farm basically anything. I'm going to talk about foods and plants that you can harvest here that I think are important for you to know about, and we'll talk about some pointers and where you can find the stuff, what you can use it for, that type of stuff in the video. But we should begin with methods of farming. Now, these are two common ways that you can plant crops: the row and the big square. Now, water can keep a block tilled or fertile up to 4 blocks away, so that's what this whole square is. You need to use a hoe on a grass block to get farmland to plant things on. Now, this is more organized. It's definitely easier to plant and replant because you can walk right down and then pick everything up and replant it. And it is allegedly faster. According to the Minecraft wiki at least, it may be a little bit faster. I usually use this method in the beginning of the game, and you can cover the water with blocks. I like to use slabs because you can walk right on over it without breaking any of the land here. Now, this method looks a lot better and is a lot more compact. You can fit a lot more in here because we don't have all of this wasted, unnecessary water space. So it's up to you what you're going to use. Like I said, beginning of the game, this is the way I go. Later in the game, this is the way I go. It looks very nice. So that is that, and with that out of the way, I think we can swing on into what I've set up over here. Now, these are some of the things we're going to talk about in this video, but not all of them. And another trick you can use and should know: bone meal is the trick. If you use bone meal on a crop, it will grow faster. So if you need to speed something up, go get some bones and use the bone meal on the crop. There you go, it grew. I have now removed my new default texture pack so you know what the food looks exactly like. Now, the skies and some things are going to still be a little different, but it's all the same thing. First off, we have wheat, the most common food. It's found everywhere. It's probably what you're going to start by eating. You can make these things with it. Bread is the common starter food that you should probably be eating, and you can use wheat to breed cows and sheep. Now, you can use seeds to breed chickens. So wheat is really useful, and it's really common. You can literally find it everywhere that there's grass. So you're not going to find it in the nether, obviously, but you run around and punch grass, eventually you're going to get seeds. Sliding on over to door number 2. Carrots. Carrots are a very useful starter food, and fun fact, I went for like a year or 2 maybe just eating carrots in Minecraft. I thought carrots were the best thing in the world. Now, carrots are pretty decent in terms of a food to eat, and they're actually not so decent in terms of things you can make with them. Make a golden carrot, a carrot on a stick, so you can ride a pig around. They will breed pigs, and maybe you can make some rabbit stew with it, but carrots aren't that useful in reality, but they're not bad for starting, so kind of contradictory to what I just said, but they're decent in the beginning. You can find them in villages, and zombies can drop them, but you can find them in more places. These are just some basic places that you can find the things. Next, we have potatoes. Baked potatoes. Baked potatoes is where it's at in the beginning. Get some potatoes, cook them up, and you have a really good food to use in the beginning, to eat in the beginning. You can make rabbit stew with potatoes, and you can breed pigs with potatoes. Again, just like carrots, villages and zombies, look there for them. And alone, when you just eat a potato, not very good. Don't just eat a raw potato. It'll heal like, I think, half of a hunger thing. I don't know. Doesn't heal a lot, but cook the potato up, yum yum. Beetroot. They are very similar to carrots and potatoes. They're a little bit newer than carrots and potatoes. You can find them in a village, and you can't do much with them. You can make red dye or beetroot soup, which in reality isn't a bad food. It's just pretty inefficient. I think you need 6 beetroot to make 1 beetroot soup, which is just as good as 1 baked potato, I think. Might be wrong there, but you can also breed pigs with beetroot. Beetroot looks really nice for decoration in my opinion. I do quite like the red and the shorter leaf, but I mean, it's up to you. We're talking about food for eating, not for decorating. Now, these next 2 plants are different than all of the ones we've talked about thus far in the video. These plants are much better to be planted in a row, like this method. Not in a square, it's not going to work out very well. So these next 2 plants in a row, they need 2 blocks to grow. They need the spot for the seeds, and then they need a spot to grow on. Pumpkins are really useful for building, not necessarily for eating unless you want to make pumpkin pie, which is delicious and a pretty darn good food, but you can use pumpkins or jack-o'-lanterns to make golems. A golem is basically a friendly helper mob thing, and this is how you would make it on the surface. If you place these iron blocks in a T and then a pumpkin on top, makes an iron golem. Pumpkins are my favorite alternative for easy lighting. Jack-o'-lanterns look okay. I mean, they look a lot better when you cover them with a wooden trapdoor, but they're much better looking than a torch. Now, you can find pumpkins in random patches around the world. Say, like a field like this, I might find a pumpkin, you know, just kind of scattered around, usually in little clumps looking something like that, just sitting around the world. They're not that hard to find, so in the beginning of your world, go out and look for pumpkins. Next, melons. Melons really aren't that useful. I used to think they were the best, most amazing thing in the game. I don't know why. You can find them in a jungle among other places, and they don't really make anything. They're not that good of a food, but they're here. And I guess right now with these textures, you can make a funky looking cactus, I guess, with them. Like, I don't know what else you can really use melons for. I don't know why I thought they were so good, but melons. Jumping on over to another food you cannot eat. Don't eat the cactus. You actually cannot eat the cactus. You can automatically farm these really easy, but that's besides the point. You find them in the desert. Did I spell that right? Whoopsie. Wait, I don't know. Okay, honestly, that still trips me up sometimes, just being real here. But they grow on sand, they grow 3 high, and you can make dye with them. You can't make lime dye without bone meal, but you get the cactus green dye, then you make the lime dye. So that's cactus. Moving on down the line to sugarcane. You find these along water, pretty much anywhere along water. They can grow on a variety of different blocks, as I am showing here, and they're very useful. You can make paper or sugar directly with sugarcane. Paper goes into rockets, maps, books. Sugar goes into cake, fermented spider eye, which is potion stuff, and a pumpkin pie. So sugarcane is pretty useful. It's one of the first farms that I make after my food farms. And finally, getting a little tricky here, nether wart. You find it in the nether, and you can make nether wart block, red nether brick block. Now, nether warts are better for potion brewing. You can't actually make a bring stand with them, but potion brewing is what you're going to use nether wart for, or maybe decoration if you're really fancy, but nether wart is another common farming thing. Now we have 2 bonus things here. Flowers are really easy to farm. Now, they aren't quite like a food or something like that. I guess they're a plant like cactus, but if you use bone meal on the 2 high flowers, only the 2 high flowers, you just hold bone meal down, you get loads and loads of flowers. Now, these flowers are very useful for dyes. You can combine red and yellow to get orange, and it's just a very useful way to get a lot of dyes, a lot of colors. And then mushrooms. If you have mycelium or podzol or a dark area, you can farm mushrooms. Mushrooms are useful in potions and mushroom stew, or you can use Silk Touch and use these blocks to build. They're quite interesting blocks if you're in survival to use, and there's something else you can farm. Now, like I said, you can farm almost anything in Minecraft, but these are some basic plants and foods you can farm. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, let me know of them. Ask them down in the comments. I will get back to you, and I hope this video helps you out with some basic farming questions or needs. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss episode 4 on enchanting. I am Waddles, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you next time. Go have a good day. Goodbye, everybody.